Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
can so many people have their sweet little animal friends, animal spirit friends?
Hello, KZOOMers. Oh my gosh. So wonderful to be together in this KZOOM room with all our friends. Okay. So,
Sorry, Raphael.
so in this week's Love at the Center, there was this wonderful kind of a happening that kind of woke me up. And in the Song of Songs, at one point when I decided I wanted to live my life by the Song of Songs, I wrote 10 commandments of the Song of Songs. So what would it mean to live my life by the Song of Songs? And I wrote these 10 commandments, and the 10th commandment was, thou shalt play. I think there was a little more to it, but thou shalt play was the part that I remember. And it felt like such an important part of what the Song of Songs teaches. Mm-hmm. Because if you take it totally seriously, it kind of doesn't make sense. But when you realize that there is this love play going on between us and God, between us and each other, that love play is really what brings us to our aliveness and gives us the capacity for love. And it was interesting in this, I didn't really wake up to it until Rachmiel was saying these words of the Song of Songs to me.
Back when we were getting ready to record.
Recording it.
It just seemed to me that he was like being playful.
And so he said, so this first practice that I want to do with you is really about that playfulness and what it means to kind of play hide and seek with God. And the words say,
Hasaybi.
No, say it. You say it the way you say it. Turn away.
Oh, turn away, my love.
No.
Where am I?
Turn your eye.
Turn your eyes away, for they dazzle me. I can't even look at you. They dazzle me.
So we want to, so it's been a hard week with the Supreme Court kind of trying to ruin our country, and it's easy to go into that place of despair and a sense of powerlessness. And I want to just bring the magic of play to us as a pathway of actually finding our way back to our power, back to our center, back to a kind of aliveness from which maybe there are possibilities, but if we don't find our way there are no possibilities. The doors
lose our power.
Yeah, totally. The doors seem closed. And I learned a lot about play from this someone who started with the founder of the National Institute for Play, Stuart Brown, and he found his way to the study of play because after one of the first kind of mass shootings that happened in Austin back in the
University
60s,
of Texas.
He was given kind of free rein to study, like, why does this happen? And he interviewed everyone who knew this mass murderer, and the whole team of researchers really honed in on a kind of sense of like pseudo control in his life that kept him from any kind of playfulness at all, any kind of play. And he began to research what is the role of play. So I just want to, as we enter into our play time together, he says, play is how we are made, how we develop and adjust to change. It can foster innovation and lead to multi-billion-dollar fortunes, but in the end, the most significant aspect of play is that it allows us to express our joy and connect most deeply with the best in ourselves and in others. If your life has become barren, play brings it to life again. Yes, as Freud said, life is about love and work, yet play transcends these, infuses them with liveliness, and stills time's arrow. Play is the purest expression of love. So I wanted to hold that. Play is the purest expression of love. And I think we all kind of have a bit of a play deficit. And when I took all my friends out of the closet today, they were a little bit mad at me that I haven't been playing with them. So I said they could come today. So as we enter in, let's of this practice. Let us kind of connect up with something that maybe we might have lost along the way, and see if we can find it again.
Hasaybi, aynayich minegdi. Hasaybi, aynayich minegdi. Hasaybi, aynayich minegdi. Shehaym hirhivuni. Shehaym hirhivuni. Oh, Hasaybi, aynayich minegdi. Hasaybi, aynayich minegdi. Hasaybi, aynayich minegdi. Shehaym hirhivuni. Shehaym hirhivuni. Oh, Hasaybi, aynayich minegdi. Hasaybi, aynayich minegdi. Hasaybi, aynayich minegdi. Shehaym hirhivuni. Shehaym hirhivuni. Oh, Hasaybi, aynayich minegdi. Hasaybi, aynayich minegdi. Hasaybi, aynayich minegdi. Shehaym hirhivuni. Shehaym hirhivuni. Oh, Hasaybi, aynayich minegdi. Hasaybi, aynayich minegdi. Hasaybi, aynayich minegdi. Shehaym hirhivuni. Shehaym hirhivuni. Oh, Hasaybi, aynayich minegdi. Hasaybi, aynayich minegdi. Hasaybi, aynayich minegdi. Shehaym hirhivuni. Shehaym hirhivuni. Oh, Hasaybi, aynayich minegdi. aynayich minegdi, shehaym hirhivuni, shehaym hirhivuni. Oh, Hasaybi, aynayich minegdi, Hasaybi, aynayich minegdi, Hasaybi, aynayich minegdi, shehaym hirhivuni, shehaym hirhivuni. Oh, Hasaybi, aynayich minegdi, Hasaybi, aynayich minegdi, Hasaybi, aynayich minegdi, shehaym hirhivuni, shehaym hirhivuni.
So feel that aliveness. Feel that aliveness. That's part of our spiritual curriculum. So if you want to know what play is, so it has certain characteristics. It is, even though I'm saying it fulfills this very important purpose in life, it is apparently purposeless. It is done for its own sake. It is voluntary. Nobody can make you do it, even though I'm trying to make you do it. It has an inherent attraction. It brings you freedom from time. I remember as a child, I would play like every minute that I could, and I was playing, and I remember this moment in my life when my mother called me in for dinner, and I was so indignant, and I said, but I'm playing. It's like, how could you do that? How could you interrupt that? I'm playing, And another quality of play is that there's a diminished consciousness of self. It's like a way of stepping out of self, out of small self, and it has in it an improvisational potential, meaning we kind of develop this kind of rigid idea of who the self is, who we are, and what the Song of Songs also teaches us is that we need to try on all these kind of different voices, different aspects of personality. It's trying it on, and the other thing about play, it has a continuation desire, which means like when you start playing, you don't want to stop. And there's lots of different play styles or play personalities, and sometimes we're playing with sound, sometimes we're playing with body, with color, with shape. I have a game that I play every morning, which is to challenge myself to get out of bed differently every day. And sometimes it's a little bit of a comedy in our bedroom.
Once in a while, I'll hear ka-funk. Most of the time, not. But once in a while.
But it's a way of coming out of habitual, like getting out of bed the same way every day. So if you say, okay, I'm going to get out of bed differently, it means I'm going to wake up and really wake up and turn on my creative potential first thing, this morning as I was preparing for this class, I thought, oh well, maybe I can go down the stairs differently every day, and I haven't, sort of. That's a new play project for me. So there is something about play that lifts us up out of our small minds, and it is a pathway to that aliveness that gives us a perspective. And so I wanted to do this practice that's called getting perspective. Mm-hmm. And I remember, and this is from Isaiah, and it's a commandment in a way. It says, "You get yourself up upon the high mountain." It's like you're in this place, you're stuck, you can't see the whole of life because you're sort of like kind of stuck inside it. And so find that perspective. And so humor and play are ways to get that perspective, which are it's absolutely essential. So this chant practice actually is two-part rounds. One of the rounds goes like this: har-gavoah, ali-lach, har-gavoah, ali-lach. You can try that. Har-gavoah, ali-lach, har-gavoah, ali-lach, har-gavoah, ali-lach, har-gavoah, ali-lach. I can do that as a round.
Har-gavoah, ali-lach,
har-gavoah, ali-lach, har-gavoah, ali-lach, har-gavoah, ali-lach,
har-gavoah, ali-lach.
And if you want to play a little bit more with it, there's another round that goes with it. And this one goes like this: har-gavoah, ali-lach, har-gavoah, ali-lach, har-gavoah, ali-lach, har-gavoah, ali-lach, har-gavoah, ali-lach, har-gavoah, ali-lach. And that's a round also. So what I'm saying here, Rachmel's going to hold he's going to hold that first round down, and then we can all play. And you can hear me play, but you can also play yourself, and you can make up a whole new melody if you want. But the intention is that the playfulness of the melody lifts you up onto that high mountain where we need to be able to get that perspective. Are you game?
They're ready.
Okay, let's try it. Har-gavoah, ali-lach, 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 al-har-gavoah, ali-lach, al-har-gavoah, ali-lach, al-har-gavoah, ali-lach, al-har-gavoah, ali-lach, har-gavoah, ali-lach, har-gavoah, ali-lach, har-gavoah, ali-lach, har-gavoah, ali-lach, har-gavoah, ali-lach, har-gavoah, ali-lach, al-har-gavoah, 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 Close your eyes and find yourself up high, up on that high mountain. Lift it up by that sense of playfulness. And from here we can maybe get a perspective we didn't have before. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that was nice.
So, my friends, it's like so important in life to find others to play with. That's kind of like one of my motivations for doing the work that I do is like I look around and I say, who wants to play? Who wants to play with me? Because without that, I just can easily get lost. So what I notice is that I find some place in me that knew how to play and then kind of got shut down or forgot or got sort of, and it's actually an occupational hazard for rabbis to get very serious because we want to be taken seriously.
Right.
And the occupational hazard is if we are only taken seriously, we stop playing, and the play is the way that we find our way to aliveness. And in order to play, you have to not sort of like be vulnerable. You have to not care if you make mistakes, because it's a way of experiment, saying life is this experiment. Let's play with it, and playing with our own kind of places inside us. So in this exploration of play, I find this place inside me that psychology calls the inner child, and to say there needs to be sometimes some inner child work, because if that child inside doesn't feel safe, then the play doesn't happen. And so there's this way of coming into dialogue with that inner child, that and in a way you could say that every point in our journey, that age is still there inside us, to be able to engage and to be able to come into wholeness. So when I found this line in the Psalms, in Psalm 147, I was just sort of like, I was surprised. I didn't know the Torah was talking about the inner child before anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And because what it says is that when your boundaries are strong, then your inner child is blessed. And so I really wanted to explore the truth of that, and creating these loving boundaries is really part of my path. Creating the boundaries, honoring that inner child, and being in conversation with her is what's going to allow me to kind of resource that aliveness that I had as a child, but to be able to use that aliveness in the way that I play in the world. So it has a little call and response thing in it, and then there's a part that we sing together. So Rachmel will respond with you guys, and you can see, because I say ki chizak shehaym, and then you all say Bayrach baniyich b'kirbech. And what I find in this practice is those vowels, the b sound, especially
K,
and the b sound. They're powerful. They're powerful, and they're a way for us to kind of find our power, find that strength, find the strength of those boundaries that are going to allow the inner child to thrive within us. So if you want to just try, as you're chanting, to just overemphasize those consonants. Yeah. Ki chizak brichei she'arayich
Bayrach baniyich b'kirbech.
Ki chizak brichei she'arayich
Bayrach baniyich b'kirbech. Bayrach baniyich b'kirbech. Bayrach baniyich b'kirbech. Bayrach baniyich b'kirbech. Bayrach baniyich b'kirbech.
Ki chizak brichei she'arayich
Bayrach baniyich b'kirbech.
Ki chizak brichei she'arayich
Bayrach baniyich b'kirbech. Bayrach baniyich b'kirbech. Bayrach baniyich b'kirbech. Bayrach baniyich b'kirbech. Bayrach, baniyich b'kirbeh.
Ki chizak brichei she'arayich.
Bayrach, baniyich b'kirbeh.
Ki chizak brichei she'arayich.
Bayrach, baniyich b'kirbeh. Bayrach, baniyich b'kirbeh. Bayrach, baniyich b'kirbeh. Bayrach, baniyich b'kirbeh. Bayrach, baniyich b'kirbeh.
Ki chizak brichei she'arayich.
Bayrach, baniyich b'kirbeh.
Ki chizak brichei she'arayich.
Bayrach, baniyich b'kirbeh. Bayrach, baniyich b'kirbeh. Bayrach, baniyich b'kirbeh. Bayrach, baniyich b'kirbeh. Bayrach, baniyich b'kirbeh.
Ki chizak brichei she'arayich.
Bayrach, baniyich b'kirbeh.
Ki chizak brichei she'arayich.
Bayrach, baniyich b'kirbeh. Bayrach, baniyich b'kirbeh. Bayrach, baniyich b'kirbeh. Bayrach, baniyich b'kirbeh. Bayrach, baniyich b'kirbeh.
Ki chizak brichei she'arayich.
Bayrach, baniyich b'kirbeh.
Ki chizak brichei she'arayich.
Bayrach, baniyich b'kirbeh. Bayrach, baniyich b'kirbeh. Bayrach, baniyich b'kirbeh. Bayrach, baniyich b'kirbeh. Bayrach, baniyich b'kirbeh.
Ki chizak brichei she'arayich.
Bayrach, baniyich b'kirbeh.
Ki chizak brichei she'arayich.
Bayrach, baniyich b'kirbeh. Bayrach, baniyich b'kirbeh. Bayrach, baniyich b'kirbeh. Bayrach, baniyich b'kirbeh. Bayrach, baniyich b'kirbeh.
Ki chizak brichei she'arayich.
Bayrach, baniyich b'kirbeh.
Ki chizak brichei she'arayich.
Bayrach, baniyich b'kirbeh. Bayrach, baniyich b'kirbeh. Bayrach, baniyich b'kirbeh. Bayrach, baniyich b'kirbeh. Bayrach, baniyich b'kirbeh.
Ki chizak brichei she'arayich.
Bayrach, baniyich b'kirbeh.
Ki chizak brichei she'arayich.
Bayrach, baniyich b'kirbeh. Bayrach, baniyich b'kirbeh. Bayrach, baniyich b'kirbeh. Bayrach, baniyich b'kirbeh. Bayrach, baniyich b'kirbeh.
So there are traditions in the East that say that this play that is happening inside us is also happening in the cosmos. And it's a kind of a different way of looking at what seems like tragic as something else from a different perspective. And as I was last year when I was preparing this class I remembered a passage in a book that I read a long time ago, which is called The Book. That's the name of the book. It's called The Book. It's by Alan Watts, and who was a very kind of like a important influence in my life. And I remembered this one passage because it made such an impact on me, and so I got the book and I kind of dug it out, and I wanted to read it to you because it kind of is a way of blowing our minds into this kind of cosmic play sense of the divine love play. So Alan Watts says, I'm going to read this to you, this one passage. God also likes to play hide and seek, but because there is nothing outside God, he has no one but himself to play with. But he gets over this difficulty by pretending that he is not himself. This is his way of hiding from himself. He pretends that he is you and I and the people of the world, all the animals, all the plants, all the rocks, and all the stars. In this way, he has strange and wonderful adventures, some of which are terrible and frightening. But these are just like bad dreams, for when he wakes up, they will disappear. Now, when God plays hide and pretends that he is you and I, he does it so well that it takes him a long time to remember where and how he hid himself. But that's the whole fun of it. Just when he wanted to, it's just what he wanted to do. He doesn't want to find himself too quickly, for that would spoil the game. That is why it is so difficult for you and me to find out that we are God in disguise, pretending not to be himself. But that when the game has gone on long enough, all of us will wake up, stop pretending, and remember that we are all one single self, the God who is all that there is and who lives forever and ever. Of course, you must remember that God isn't shaped like a person. People have skins, and there's always something outside our skins. If there weren't, we wouldn't know the difference between what is inside and outside our bodies. But God has no skin and no shape, because there isn't any outside to him. I illustrate this with a Mobius strip, a ring of paper tape twisted once in a way that is only one side and one edge. The inside and the outside of God are the same. And though I've been talking about God as he and not she, God isn't a man or a woman. I didn't say it because we usually say it for things that aren't alive. God is the self of the world. But you can't see God for the same reason that without a mirror you can't see your own eyes, and you certainly can't bite your own teeth or look inside your head. Yourself is that cleverly hidden because it is God hiding. You may ask why God sometimes hides in the form of horrible people or the Supreme Court, or pretends to be people who suffer great disease and pain. Remember first that he isn't really doing this to anyone but himself. Remember, too, that in almost all the stories you enjoy, there have to be bad people as well as good people. For the thrill of the tale is to find out how the good people will get the better of the bad. It's the same when we play cards. At the beginning of the game, we shuffle them all into a mess, which is like the bad things in the world. But the point of the game is to put the mess into good order, and the one who does it best is the winner. Then we shuffle the cards once more and play again, and so it goes with the world. So there is this idea that in Hinduism called lila, and lila is a way of describing all of reality as the outcome of the creative play of the divine absolute. Lila is divine play. a purposeless purpose, a natural outflow, a spontaneous and generous self-manifestation of God. The concept of ali-lach calls forth the role of delight in creation. So, I'm not saying that we can always have that perspective, but every once in a while to have that perspective, I think helps us to come back into the game and play with our whole heart and with a kind of an attitude of delight, no matter what it is. That's what I aspire to.
Ah, yes.
So there is the play of light, there is the play of color, there is the play of breath. And the breath is kind of, the sense that God is breathing me. That's like, you want to just take a moment and breathe in a way that where you're not breathing, but God, just as you inhale, it's really God breathing into you. And as you exhale, you are, allowing that God self to breathe out into the world. And it is a kind of a way of experiencing life as the flow of the divine through us, as the breath, which is our aliveness. So I want to do this last practice, and we can see who wants to
Come and dance.
and be with us here. I think Megillah Gorilla might enjoy this. Oh, you want to play it?
Yeah. I'll get it right. Follow your drum beat. I've done this in a while.
Okay. So as we chant, just be aware of that breath, that divine breath that is in us. Kol Han'shama, Halleluyah. Kol Han'shama, Han'shama, Halleluyah. Kol Han'shama, Hallelujah. Kol Han'shama, Hallelujah. 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 So close your eyes, bring your attention back to the breath. Allow that divine breath to flow in and through you. And waking up that place inside that might have stopped playing. Waking it up. Maybe bringing a little bit of curiosity to how we might take this playfulness into each moment of life, how we might bring it as an expression, a pure expression of the love of life, a pure expression of love.
All right.
So
And we have our critters to remind us about that pure expression of love.
Yes. Sometimes when you end a service, you sing Adon Olam. So, so as we kind of like finish up this class about play, about divine play, you want to notice where's the place in you that wants to play, and where's the place in you that might kind of like be resistant and say, no, I'm too old for that. I'm too serious for that. I'm too whatever to play. And so we sort of put ourselves onto the play path that might lead us to more aliveness and more engagement with each other and with life. And let us say,
Yum.
Okay. So,
Or roof. Meow. It's a duck.
So I'm going to invite anybody who wants to, go to the website, sign up for retreats that are happening this summer.
Yeah.
And also there's a new part on my website that is about all the Hallelujahs that are coming through now as the flavors of praise. So check that out on the website.
Mm-hmm.
And for those of you who have 10 minutes, we'd like to stay for 10 minutes to check in about your play path.
If not, we love you. Bye. Love you. Bye. You're welcome.
You can, we'll go into,
What is that?
wait a minute.
Let's wonder what critter that was.